at Porte de Versailles in Issy-les-Moulineaux. But let's head into our matchup. Of course, Liquid versus Vitality. Game number 1. And we start off on Coastline, our first map of the day.
Well, we'll see what these bands have in store here. Should be interesting. As I said earlier, we have not seen any of these teams playing on this.
I like the Nokabi band. The combo with Glaz makes her so much stronger, and also buffs Zephyr's Glaz quite a bit. So I'm pretty interested to see how this actually plays out. Vitality and European teams in general have been really good at hunting down roamers with this operator. And here we'll see Lion being banned.
So there's the 2 roam hunters going out, and it's going to be down to maybe we'll see some Jackal play here, just because there's so little else to be able to counter the roamers. We may also see a Vigil ban, as these teams have been known to sometimes do that, especially coming from, I believe it was Liquid doing it in the past. There's no Vigil ban, but Vitality actually wants to do it. That means they're leaving Echo on the board.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're more afraid of the roam game than anything else in here.
Well, that's really what's going to delay them the most, because they spend most of their time on that. There's that surprising ban.
When you're holding an angle for 2.5 minutes, I mean, that's really the one thing that will slow you down. But we start off with round number 1. Map number 1, of course, Coastline, in this best-of-3 overtime activated series. So keep that in mind as our day goes. If anybody asks you a question or anything like that in chat or wherever, make sure that you give them the info. But nothing out of the ordinary, as Vitality is starting off on the attack, and they're bringing Glaz and Ying. This is European meta in its finest.
Yeah, it definitely should be interesting to see. And we are seeing at least at 1 6-pick already being used to switch to the castle from the Echo. So they're just going to be teasing Vitality and thinking they're going to have to deal with that Echo. But instead, the castle is going to be there, and they're not going to bring anything special to counter it either way. But Bibu is going to be on Zofia, which he plays a lot anyway. So that should make it not as big a deal. I don't think they were going to 6th pick, to Sledge or anything like that to hard counter it. So not a big deal, but hey, a little bit of extra bait, I suppose, against Vitality will definitely help. We are going to see the Glaz no one banned that, though, from Zephyr, something we see a lot, of course, from him, especially on this map in the past, although, obviously, like I said, we've not seen them play this map during Pro League itself. Yeah. There's a chance. We probably saw them play it during DreamHack or something like that. Hard to say, as there was a lot of matches not streamed, but
yeah, it's kind of hard to track everything when not everything was broadcasted, but still, it's not something that has been shown around too much. Now, the interesting thing is that obviously Mira is banned, so we're not going to see any of that. So we're not going to harp on the strategies too much. But the fact that Echo is available, that might really come back and hurt Vitality. The interesting thing in this setup here from Liquid is that they leave a rotation hole into the penthouse from VIP, which is not really a usual thing. Sometimes it'll be fully reinforced. That's really most of the time you want to force your opponents to play.
I mean, the site isn't up there, but it's definitely above the site. You have to defend it.
Now, the best part about this is that, well, Vitality have soft destruction. They have at least one operator here. Of course, the Zofia, which Bibi was fairly active on.
Yeah, it's definitely been a strong one for him.
Yeah, and IQ is kind of a must-pick for Vitality, realizing that they might have to deal with more technical operators on the defensive side. So, your Echo, etc. That's why you see Bride coming around, making sure there's nothing that can really disrupt their push into the site. Zig forced back, as the castle will have to abandon the penthouse and at least that back.
Well, they definitely don't necessarily need to use those X Kairos on any kind of hatches or anything like that. And they don't necessarily need to use it on the site unless they want to open up that long wall. So they have some flexibility here. Rafael, though, spending a lot of time trying to get a headshot, and the pinch coming out potentially from Bibu from the other side. But they're still really struggling to get him out of that bookshelf corner.
It's a pretty tough corner to go through, but this is why you bring a Zofia. You got Gizmot mines, but there are ADSs that are set in. And of course, these mines run the exact same way as they do for her little sister Ella. Bullet will get the kill on Rafal. Unfortunately, the Ying being the first to fall.
I like this double hold here in VIP. It's really working out because they're covering for each other. And look how long it's taking them. They're having to bring everyone in. Nesk on the dock surprisingly takes down Zephyr, and Bibu trades it right back. But that's just one of the 2 people in VIP.
Now, so smart from Sexy Cake to not peek And he does get a bit of a boost from the donk of Nesk, so making sure that everybody's topped up. And it seems like this, they won't even have the chance here, Vitality, to push into that unreinforced wall. Now, there's a minute left, which means it's pretty much 3 years in Vitality time. But the diffuser is in the Hall of Fame, and Nesk will land the headshot. Bibu trying to find it. He'll get one. No, that's Bride to get it. Sexy Cake still in the back. Bride finally taking him out, but it is a 1v2. He'll have to get 2 more players in here, make it a 3K. But now Team Liquid will just rotate around, and PSK still has, of course, the smoke canisters. Bride taking damage here.
Those
batteries.
The batteries. They're doing some work on him. That's twice he's gotten hit by those, and he's already low on health. Nesk should have an easy tank fight here. If he loses it, that's going to be a big surprise.
Yeah, Bride will peek in from the cool vibe stairs, and there you go. Easy kill at the end with Nesk. All he needed was the 1 tap, and he's running the Pentacharm on the MP5. Pretty sweet there. But
yeah, not going to see that anytime the rest of this match.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of Penta themselves.
During the Paris Major qualifiers, or not qualifier, but the playoffs, we have a few panels with Ubisoft. And we'll be talking about the the panel for the esports stuff, of course, during the year. And one of the topics will be the esports. The esports program.
Yeah, that should be interesting to see how that goes, especially with the new orgs involved. So we will see a similar attack lineup. This time they're going to fight on bar instead of kitchen. Of course, they won that, so they cannot play that again. So they're obviously not wanting to do penthouse anytime soon. Now, of course, we are still in the same format where they play 5 rounds in a row on the sides before they switch. So chances are, if they win this, then we will see what their third side is, which will likely be penthouse, but not guaranteed. Could go hookah. Going to see that 6 pick over to castle yet again. So nothing too surprising, except for the Echo actually sticking this time.
Yeah, nothing will change from Vitality in this lineup for the attackers. The defenders, as you mentioned, PS.
It's a nice surprise, though, because last time they 6-picked off to Castle from the Echo. This time, I imagine Vitality could be thinking the same thing happens again. They're not going to expect both an Echo and a Castle.
I mean, when you're defending downstairs in the barns, you don't really need a bandit. So
yeah,
it's not too big of a problem. You can go through with PSK with his yokais. Of course, with 2 yokais, the way that Liquid are playing around, they can basically just keep roaming around. You'll see Sexy Cake playing around with Bullet or Zig outside of the site, having 2 players to anchor on it, most likely the Echo and the Smoke. Smoke very difficult to push away from the barn here.
Yeah, he didn't even have to do anything last round.
This is an interesting part. A lot of teams have been either reinforcing one side or both of them in here. Both of them will be soft, and they're even gonna set up with shooting holes on the feet level, so your gas canisters can actually be very effective against them.
Not to mention they can't come in through that window then without exposing themselves, and if they push, they can't push across to get to the other side to try and hold that room a little more effectively. That really does, as you say, make the Smoke much more effective in denying that push. Not to mention they have the Echo as well as Legion Mines to be able to deny any kind of aggressive push there. So this is really going to be, again, delaying and delaying and delaying on Vitality. We saw it really effective last round.
Yeah, something that a team like Secret, for example, would do is basically use the Habana X Kairos on the castle barricade in the aquarium ASAP, and then use the second one on here, because they really only need 1, maximum 2, depending on the strategy they have in mind. But Rafael will try to come in, go for a peek, nobody really behind. Now, the Ying is being played with an angle grip, which means that this is usually going to be more of an aggressive Ying to push in outside of just holding the angles for a while.
Yeah, to be able to use the Candles to push roamers potentially, even, which he's going to have to do in a second here.
Bibu will get the spot on the Jaeger in the back. Sexy Cake will be droned up again. This is something the Vitality are very famous for, of course. So, droning for a long time and then executing flawlessly on the site.
Well, so far, from what we saw last round, not flawlessly. And then, unfortunately, there looks like he might have hit something, perhaps one of the bottles or something on the windowsill. He's already at half health. But Zafir, though, the nice kill onto Zig.
Yeah, I'll get the first one of the round. As you see, the Jaeger has been forced back. Oddly enough, PSK on the Echo is running with the Supernova on the shotgun. As Zephyr just comes into hookah. He doesn't even care about the fact that there's somebody here. He goes in for the Jaeger, and Zephyr wins the duel, taking no damage in here. Sexy Cake falling down, and what is that beautiful play on our resident expert here on our Russian sniper. This is pretty darn good to see. Fatality, of course, being able to run the glass in the round. That's the Castle and the Jaeger taken out. 50 seconds, which means plenty of time for Fatality.
Yeah, definitely so far been a very effective top floor take, because not only did they clear it, but they cleared it without losing a single man, which is typical for Vitality. They will be slow and patient, but they are like that bulldozer, just slowly crushing over them. Last round was not a good indicator of that, but now they have the control, as you mentioned, and the time to be able to execute on this. But the Echo and the Smoke are both still left alive, along with Legion, which will delay a plant. So this could be a struggle.
Now let's try to peek in from below. The shotgun, of course, at this range, trying to deal with players from above, can be very effective, to say the least. There's 20 seconds on the clock, and Bullet will get 1 kill. Finally, the Zofia going down before all of the Guzmots can be thrown in. And finally, Vitality are coming into the side room here. Nesk chucking all of his gas canisters, 2 of them going into the side room. Rafal will get 1 kill, top 2 seconds left on the clock. Where's the diffuser? You need to put it down. Spark will try to go for the plant. And the Echo is finally turning around to try and deny it, but Vitality just run 2 seconds. For that has to be a new record for a team just coming into it.
I never know. It's almost a mystery how they pull off these attempted plants at the last second like that, because they should not win those. They should never win those. I mean, it seems like they bait out a little bit of desperation out of the defenders sometimes when it comes to those moments, because you're going to be predicting, okay, time's almost up. They have to go for a plant. That's going to be the defender's going to be thinking that's going to force them to do something. But in the end, I think it's Vitality forcing the defenders to think that.
And the other team will play 5 rounds on defense. For a total of 10, and then if it's a 5-5 tie, we go into overtime, which is a best of 3 overtime, as it always has been. So keep that in mind. Of course, this is Coastline. This is a map that a lot of teams would be like, if you're not getting minimum 3, most likely 4 rounds on the attack, you're kind of really putting yourself back. So Vitality,
especially on this map,
Vitality really need to get those up on the board. As Liquid, getting 2-3 rounds would be pretty huge for their start.
Bridge with a nice 4 kills already between those 2 rounds. Definitely doing well for his team. Surprising to see that Penthouse is not going to be the 3rd bomb site, as I was talking about earlier, since well, they didn't have to switch because they didn't win the last round. They could have continued to play in bar, so it's surprising they would voluntarily go over to hookah. So they're definitely going to have to play this smart. I mean, this is the site above the bar, so obviously if you could defend the bar downstairs, you might be able to defend upstairs as well, but this does at least let you put all your eggs in one basket. You don't have to defend both, like a split defense, because that's what happened last time. Is they were trying to defend both hookah and the bar. They lost too many people upstairs.
Oh, the pick from Nesk, and he finds the kill on Bibu. Wow. Huge kill here early on the Zofia. That will really slow things down for Vitality even more than the usual. And Sexy Kick running with a P90. What is this? What is going on? Well, the one thing I wanna highlight though is the fact that there is no bandit, there is no mute. So the reinforced walls here, as you see everybody peeking around them from the back of the bar in the pool by the pool table. Easiest thing, get the Habana up on the roof, get shots on that wall and open it up. Try to shut down the rotations from here. We've seen teams like Millennium excel at this sort of angle holding. And this is something that Spark can definitely use to slow down Team Liquid, or maybe get an early pick as they lose Bibu. Yeah. It's a bit of a problem here.
It's unfortunate for Liquid, of course, that wasn't a kill onto Spark, but it's still going to hurt, though, taking down Bibu early. That means soft destruction a little bit more off the board, although in this case they're finally not running Castle, so I guess that isn't as big of a deal, but that's still angles that could be opened up in addition to what Spark's going to be opening up.
All right, so we're on the main window of the penthouse. Nothing has been found so far, as Vitality have at least penetrated the external defenses here of Team Liquid on outside. Pride comes on into the bathroom as well, scanning around, not going to find any equipment that is put around him. Maybe he'll spot the yokai drone if it is in the room. Of course, remind you that IQ has had a range nerf from 20 meters on her detector to down to only 15, and that is a yokai drone taken out.
Oh, there we go. That's the problem with on a soft wall. Of course, if they had Bibu there, they wouldn't have to worry as much about that, but he wasn't able to get all the discs.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to spray into the site. Oh, the yokai's really being taken out here, but you don't really need yokais to enter the site. Xkairos, excuse me. So it's all right to use your Xkairos on here, even 2 sets, to have a long angle. I wonder if they're going to go up to the rooftop to play the angle we're just talking about, as things have been droned, and Vitality must know that there's nothing really to deny them from doing that. No, Rafael will start taking down the barbed wire. There is, of course, a yokai, the second one, that is being set on the site.
Hopefully they can keep that alive, because as we saw with Bride earlier, he was able to spot it out. Going to be spotting out again because he's doing a good job scouting the inside for electronics, and there's not a lot of other ones to distract him. Just heard some shots go off. That could have even been on the yokai. I like the use of the deployable shield, though, for the angles. This is not an atypical thing to see a Jaeger roaming down in the security office there.
Yeah, he does have to deal with the Hibana. His PSK will try to get a shot here, and fortunately, no, Neski gets the shot. That's now 2 kills for him in the round. Huge one here on the Hibana, though. Rafael coming in. The fuser has been set instantly as they push on the site. Vitality are able to get the plant, though. Bullet will get one. He'll get traded by Bride. Sexy K coming in to turn it into a 2v1, all up to Bride, as Nesk will rotate in and try to help. There is no C4 available here to chuck into the IQs. Of course, IQ no longer has grenades to throw into the back. You'll hear the fuser being tapped away here, as Bride will have to come in. Can he get the shots? He takes down the Valkyrie. No! Nesk is ready for him! And what a shot! Team Liquid, and especially Nesk, not disappointing. That's a 3K for him in the round, starting off with a beautiful run out from the bar.
Yeah, that definitely changed things, because of course the lack of manpower at the end of the round was really what hurt Vitality, because they had a very good execute for the most part. They got on a site, they got the plant down, and got a lot of kills leading up to it. But again, losing Bibu that early in the round, of course, during the attack beginning phase there, left them just all on Bride. I mean, Bride's been doing a good job, but left all alone like that against that many defenders, unfortunately he could not win that fight too easily. But nonetheless, I think Liquid have been playing a pretty good game, but Vitality have been seeming very confident in their executes for the most part. Outside of the first round where they really struggled a little bit, they seem to have kind of found their groove very quickly. And surprising is if they're finally going to play something other than Glass, he's actually going to sneak onto that Jackal I was mentioning, potentially being a pick earlier. And they are going to go back to their first site, Kitchen, which was the one they struggled the most on attacking because of their upstairs attack really getting stalled out. Yeah,
no, Kitchen is a site where a Jackal with the ITA can be very helpful. We've seen quite a few other teams, including really these two, bringing Buck to as well play around from VIP, from the bent house. It can give you a lot of very interesting angles. Though the interesting thing here is that not the entirety of the wall is reinforced. Only 2 setups here, with a third one being impacted to rotate out. Now, this was used once, I believe, and it was fairly effective. I think Orglis used this as well in EU. It kind of threw their opponents off. They didn't really know how to react to this.
It helps you fight 2 different hallways, because you can peek out the one and then you can jump out to take long shots down the longer wall out the other side. So it does give you a few options in terms of being able to kind of counter the lobby as well, because the lobby pushes are pretty typical as well towards the bathroom door. So that flexibility, of course, as we talk about a lot, can work both ways. So of course it depends on who has control at a given time, but of course there's going to be people on site. So chances are that hole itself may remain mostly in control of the defenders most of the time. It is interesting, though, as you mentioned Buck earlier, and we have yet to see a Buck played on this map, which is it's surprising. I mean, Jackal can function in some similar fashions, but at the same time, like, this is already round 4 before we're even seeing that much. Vitality haven't seemed to need it, though. They haven't seemed to need that vertical pressure in terms of at least something Buck-like. We'll see how Zephyr does, though, without the Glass this time. They should be able to track people down a little bit better, because, of course, they're still going to have the IQ for the electronics, and now they've got Zephyr to track the footprints. Maybe they'll be able to hunt down these 2 in the same spots as last time. Now, this is going to be a little more predictable. Hopefully, Vitality are going to make the right adjustments, because they know what they're going to be fighting against this time. Nesk also playing his same position to help out his teammates as well.
The thing is, you need an extra angle to play against this, because even though these would be 2 angles to push in, they're very restricted. They're very one-dimensional. Come in from the side. Try to push in from the Cool Vibe stairs. If anything, from the backside. Coming in from the from the back in the bars definitely would help. But Rafal and Bride will get a kill each early on. Candela's thrown in by Rafal, and he will get the spot. Wow, what a flick. Sexike going down. Bibu finishing off Nazca. Now it's PSK on his own. Vitality just completely turn it up to 11. And they'll try to tie it up here, 2-2. Already 2 rounds for Team Liquid on the defense. On Coastline is definitely a good spot to be in. But here, it's not the setup of the site that hurts them, is the fact that their roam game did not work at all, playing off the site.
That's the problem, though, is they used the exact same setup as last time, and that was the mistake here because Vitality clearly adjusted. Look at this, 5 people against PSK. Rafael maybe a low health, and they actually probably have enough time to reset him, but he's going for the plant. That's risky, though. But nonetheless, PSK was not there to stop it, and plant has gone down. 5v1, PSK going to have a little bit of an uphill battle here, but at least going to take 1 down in the process. See if he could turn that into at least 2 kills before it goes to the end.
All right, PSK just trying to spray in, but his position's kind of known at this point, and you see he's trying to contest from VIP into the Hall of Fame. Peeks out, and Bibu finding the angle. Just ACOG is ready, and that's the Pro League skin for the Zofia. It looks pretty good, to say the least.
Nice and clean, black and white.
Yep.
Well, that is 2-2, though, so both these teams neck and neck here so far. And showing, I would say that the score is pretty representative of what we've seen. It has been very back and forth between these two teams in terms of round dominance. But as you said earlier, Vitality needs these attack rounds.
Yes.
But to be fair, they have pretty good defenses as well. I think they could make up for it a bit in some of the defensive rounds that they get once they switch over. But Liquid are starting to get a little predictable now that they've shown all of their cards. For the most part, they're going to have to kind of surprise a little bit, I think, in order to take more rounds off Vitality here.
I'm surprised that even when we went to Penthouse, we saw no Maestro being played. But I think the big thing is that Team Liquid and Latin America in general, we see this even with NIP, especially with NIP, that they play in a very different way. They play for picks off of their opponents. It's, as Intero was putting it yesterday, it's an all-or-nothing play style. Well, they'll put so many players off the site and get picks off their opponents. And unfortunately for a team like Vitality, they're not a team that is well known for coming up with brand new strategies and shaking up the meta. They're more known for being so good at default strats that nobody can figure them out because they just still play a style that is very old. Yeah, really. Exactly. Their execution is very much flawless every single time they're doing it. So that's something that you do have to keep in mind. It's still not an easy thing to play against, but Team Liquid are kind of finding their vibe in this. It's been working out pretty nicely for them. Dope.
It is surprising to see no drone denial coming out from Liquid, though, because that execute really depends a lot, at least on attack, on that droning that you see from them, and nothing like not a mute or anything like that to kind of deny that. Seems to be making it much easier for them once they find out where they're at to execute on them. Yeah, and of course, this is round number 5, so at the next round, Team Liquid will be switching around to the attacking side. We'll remind you of the format. So Zephyr now will try to at least punch some holes through that castle barricades. Of course, Glaz opening up holes with his OTS. He can see through those bullet holes, and that's exactly what Zephyr will try to do. He finds a spot here behind the bar, and the Jaeger takes a lot of damage, but Sexy Cake is somehow still alive, but won't be peeking that anytime soon, though. No, that definitely was risky, and I'm surprised it took him that long to get those shots and didn't actually manage to get the kill on them. There was, I believe, a slight damage nerf to Glaz previously, but I'm not sure that's going to do a whole lot. No, it really won't. It still does like 71 damage, I think. Yeah. It's still a 2-shot through any surface, through really anything. I don't think there's much that'll be, slowing down that 7.62 round. Well, either way, again, a slow, methodical execute here from Vitality. They almost got an early kill, at least on the Sexy Cake, but now this is where the drones start coming out, and they start getting the intel. They start doing their slow push. And as we've seen them most of the time, that can work pretty well. Sexy Cake is going to go for the reset there. So he's going to get back up to that 50 HP. Hopefully still doesn't get peeked by the Glaz again. The Glaz does spot a little bit of that yellow, but he drops. So smart play by Zig. Yeah, one thing to remember that the Glaz now has, still has a rate of fire as before, which is pretty high for the damage that it has. Bibu will get the kill on Sexy Cake. Almost thought that was a snipe through the wall. The reset unfortunately did not do a whole lot for him. Yeah, unfortunately cannot survive for long. But, of course, there was the damage change on the OTS. As well as the recoil, I think, got shifted quite a bit. That's the big thing. Follow-up shots are not as easy as they were before. Yeah, you definitely have to tap it just right. I'm sure Zephyr, though, has practiced plenty. So he's been running Glaz this whole time, so, except for Jackal 1 round, which, of course, that was a round they won pretty effectively. But they're still coming out pretty dominant as usual here because they've still got 5 alive. They've got the 1 kill and 6 Cake. Zig very low on health. They're actually getting set up for the execute. As you said last time, 50 seconds was plenty of time, but last time on this site, it took them all the way down to the last 2. PSK just... No, he's hitting the metal bar. He's going to try to take down that yokai drone, and maybe he finally has found the angle. Yeah, they're just going to use Zophia's minute to blow it up Lifeline. I think it's still alive. It looks like I still see it, and there we go. Bibu, though, turning it into a nice kill down onto PSK.
Yeah, so they don't even have to worry about the yokais now. Bullet will get one on the run-out. That's Rafal holding an angle, as of course Vitality are very well known for holding angles for a long time during the round. But there's 10 seconds left, and this is when push has come to shove. And Bibu coming in from the side will get the kill on Nest. Zephyr for the second, and Bibu with the last one onto Bullet. And Vitality taking the first half 3-2 against their opponents here, Team Liquid. Beautiful recoil control on the M762 and gives Liquid the advantage. Really, 3 rounds is the minimum that you're looking for on the attacking side of Coastline.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously much stronger to go into it with a 4-1 situation, of course, even a 5-0. But 3-2 is still good here. Now Liquid are going to have to make up for it on their attack. They're going to be playing a little bit differently, as well as the defense can be playing differently, because they're going to be starting on Penthouse, a site we did not see from Liquid. They just were not interested in playing it at all. Surprisingly, Hookah instead being preferred. But overall, the defenses only seeming to work out at the beginning when they won Kitchen first, and then that Hookah one that seemed to surprise Vitality a little bit. But surprises did not seem to be Liquid's strength, and I think that was a big weakness against Vitality overall, because when Vitality has the intel, when they know what to do, they know how to push it. There's a nice 6th pick there. Zephyr also going to go for 1, but not as surprising as I would say, switching over to the Blitz for Sexy Cake there.
Yeah, really just to have that extra ACOG. It's I was expecting a Maestro, but obviously it won't be the case here. Now, Team Liquid, this is something that they've been doing quite a bit of recently, and even in their scrims, running these 3 soft destructors.
Yeah.
They have one, of course, the Habana, but with 3 soft destructors, you hear the Sledge gives you the grenades. You've got Zofia as well that has quite a bit of utility on the lifeline, and of course the 762. Nesk being able to run around on the Ash and have some barbed wire clearing material as well. With
this is all just going to pave the way for the Blitz.
Yeah, basically. Really. Clear out everything in his way so the Blitz does not have to come off his shield at any point in time.
It seems like a very effective strategy, assuming Sexy Cake can continue that role. And he has done a very, very good job, I'd say, in the past of playing Blitz. So it's no surprise here to see that come out. But like you said, pointing out the soft destructor thing is a good point in terms of how they play around that shield. Early peaks, unfortunately, not paying off for Zephyr, but he's trying. He does see that shield. Smartly, Sexy Cake is a little prepared for this, does see that, so he's just kind of, as usual, being like the drone there. Like the pistol skin looks nice.
He's pointing things out for his teammates. Just tell him, hey guys, there's somebody trying to peek me from Hookah. I'm not sure if he's going to jump out and try to take me down there as soon as he hears the rappel going up, but
trying to bait it out best he can.
Basically. So the Habana will be coming in. Nesk as well from behind on the Ash. I'm going to try to take control of VIP and the Hall of Fame. Of course, Hall of Fame and VIP being so important for a push onto the B site. And we'll see only one. Well, actually, there we go. It's on the other side. All 3 of the side walls are reinforced. So most likely you're going to see the Blitz coming in from the front door, but maybe the Habana won't use all of her X-Kairos here to open up a hole to come in and go for a plant. It's usual where you have one angle that can be used by the attackers to shoot in and contest any defenders, cut off their rotation into the site, and then the last 2 would maybe be to open up a door to come in to the site for a plant. But you see the Jaeger spot on the back here for Payday as Nesk is eyeing it, PSK giving information.
They are definitely droning him out of the corner, but this is something that we saw that was a little bit of a problem for Vitality on the attack originally. But of course, this is getting predictable now in terms of playing that corner. It's just how do you get people out of it? Of course, they do have flashbangs and things like that, but that being a Jaeger, he's going to have ADSs to stop it. But like you said before, the soft destructors have plenty of grenades as well to back that up. Not to mention, you could even burn some of them with the smokes here from Blitz if you had to.
Yeah, that can definitely be used. Now, usually you see a Dokkaebi maybe on this roll, but here Dokkaebi is banned. Bibu coming in and getting killed from the back. Nobody really checking here as Nesk checks his face. Echo spotted and taken down. Nesk just coming into the site and getting 2 kills off of it. Sure, they lose the Blitz here, but it's no problem. They also lose the Zofia, but Zig will refrag. Zephyr is down, and somehow the Diffuser is down. This is a very odd way of attacking. It's somehow worked. Vitality were playing off of the site and really relying on the bathroom, and now they'll have to retake with one player very low on health. This is Pidea who has to come back in from the side here in VIP. Nesk will drop him on the floor, leaving only 1 alive. Spark coming in from the side. Gets a few shots on a Nesk, but that only alerts the Beast, who's now hungry for a kill. Spark will get one onto Zig, and Spark lands the headshot onto Nesk. It comes in from the side. He needs information. C4 tossed in the back. He'll get the C4. BSK's on the floor. And Spark, all he needs to do is find a diffuser. Does he have enough time? He's going to try to stick it here. Might have just enough time for it. 7 seconds total to try and do it. And no, the attackers with only 1 second. Unfortunate for Vitality. So close to the retake. Spark, what a beautiful bit of play. But unfortunately, not enough time as the diffuser position was not called out. The reinforced wall was always reinforced, so they were not expecting a plant by the bed.
Definitely worked out for them, but that was, as you said, very, very close there. It surprises me they didn't check the bathroom in terms of the fact that all the wall was reinforced. That's kind of an indicator someone might be playing in there. So that was a clue that they just didn't seem to read into. But Nesk still just walking into sight like that, completely controlling the site. Unfortunately, losing the fight to Spark, of course, gave them the opportunity to push in. But hey, too little, too late. They still win the round. Nesk actually surprisingly going to switch off. This time, Sexy Cake going to go straight to the Blitz. And they're actually going to bring a Finka from Zig. So this should be interesting in terms of this attack being a little bit different. They are going to go down to Kitchen for Vitality. So we'll see how that works out in terms of whether or not their Kitchen is as effective as we saw the first round of Liquid's defense.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
We'll see. We are going to see the first Maestro as well. So should be interesting in terms of Rafael playing on that.
All right. It's a 3-3. It's getting pretty close between the two. And of course, every round that you get on the defense is worth its weight in gold on here. And I really want to see how Zig combos in with Sexy Cake. It's been something we've been talking about quite a bit. Like, of course, Zofia has been changed now. So
not as strong.
Yeah, but her nerf is directly to her ability, which has now been toned down from 20 to 10 seconds for the adrenaline boost. However, now she takes less damage from a smoke if you're adrenaline boosted. For everybody that is, you still retain the no recoil buff that you have once that is up, but she also got the grenade. As we mentioned it, she went into Team Rainbow's barracks and she stole the grenades from IQ. And now she's got them. And Zig, as usual, be seeing him playing with the LMG, with the 6B. Makes a lot of sense to bring it, knowing that you basically have to deal with no recoil, especially if you're adrenal surged.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big buff, and it's definitely going to help Sexy Cake as well, because on that push, for example, less smoke damage means, of course, if he's being countered by smoke, he won't take as much damage from that. He's not going to have as much boost to his ADS. There were nice shots there. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of Zig, so we're not even going to see an effect here. But I was going to say also that the boost to health can help with the Blitz push as well. But either way, it's not going to be a factor.
You know what a lot of teams have been doing now? Instead of the usual thing where, Finka would be used just to combo with a Blitz, she's been used quite a bit to help clearing out roamers, a lot more than an execute on the site, which is something, Team Liquid might not have to worry too much about, but you see Vitality are setting up in the penthouse. They have 2 players in there. They possibly have information from Bibu on the Echo, because of course one of the yokai, there we go, you see the yokai drop, so there is a yokai to support the defenders. Of course, it takes a lot of teamwork and team effort to get this done. We'll try to push onto the shield. No, that's only one pop, and no, Nesk from the back, holding the angle. Zephyr will go down.
Good support from his teammate there. Unfortunately, that was again a case where Zephyr managed to get reset after taking a lot of damage fighting Zig downstairs, but the reset, of course, was not enough, because 50 HP at Pro League level is not a lot. It's pretty much 1 or 2 shots away from dying. But Nesk is pushing strong under the site here and catches him on the rotate. Nicely done. Spark goes down.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that hole to be opened up, I guess. I don't know if that was a pre-planned rotation hole. I believe Bullet opened it up with his Zofia. The smoke being thrown in here to protect from anybody coming in from the stairs. Unfortunately, it won't be the case here. Vitality, all 3 remaining players are set up anchored on the site with really the 3 highlight anchors.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Maestro, Echo, and Smoke.
We'll see if they can delay well here, because, of course, delay was the tactic towards the end for Liquid on their defense, but Vitality going to try and play that against 4 men strong here, pushing in. They can push very aggressive when the time comes down because of those Candelas, because of the concussion grenades that can come out from Bullet, as well as the Blitz shield here. Once they have the setup, it's going to come down to Yokais and Smokes to delay, and of course 1 smoke already thrown.
Now there's 2 left, almost perfectly timed here. Just a few seconds off, but still, It is quite a bit of disruption that you can do to your opponents. PSK trying to come in and burn any ADSs that are on the site as Nesk will go in with his Candelas as one. He does get flashed a bit by his own teammate, but Bullet coming in from the back, trying to down the Maestro, and indeed, he'll be successful in that. Bullet is spotted, and there you go. Rafael will get one kill. The smoke goes down, and he's just pushing in with the RG-15 and the knife from Bullet to get through at the end. Liquid with the fourth one, not even believing what happened. It's like Vitality were unaware that they can come in from the back, and the Echo unfortunately gets shanked by the Zofia.
That was so aggressive. He just ran out of like pistol bullets. He's like, forget it. I'm just going to go in for the knife kill. At this point, we've already won this round. I'm just going in. Nicely played. I can't believe he went off of, like you said, just caught completely off guard. He saw the Echo just coming off the Yokai way too late. Unfortunate round there. Overall, that is looking very good for Liquid after that.
Yeah, all of Vitality is basically focused on one part of the site, which is the execute from kitchen. Not expecting anybody to come in from the side. Unfortunately, Team Liquid had a lot of manpower in that position, and they're just able to come in from the side. So 4v3, you kind of have to fall back from the kitchen. I can't blame the Meister for that because you know, you have a Blitz coming in, you have the Habanas coming in from the side as well that has hold on the window at the same time. You have the Ying that's chucking in Candelas to the back. It's a bit of a mess.
Well, yeah, you're going to be focused on where those Candelas land. I think is really the thing. That's going to be the big distraction. Everyone's going to focus on where are these Candelas coming from. That's what we have to worry about. Unfortunately, that mute turned into a Legion. I thought we were going to see our first mute there.
But you know why people now will throw in flashes right before the Candelas? It's because when you're expecting Candelas at the last few seconds in the round, you're mostly going to just peek and try to get a kill off of it.
Yeah,
before it
actually blinded.
Yeah, but before it actually blinds you, you're just going to peek and try to go for a kill. Unfortunately for you, you're most likely going to be flashed, and that's not something that you can really deal with. Now, Team Liquid are bringing Sexy Cake on the Thatcher. Vitality with no disruption on their side.
It was a nice 6-pick, too, from that Blitz, because they're going to be expecting that Blitz again because, well, it's been somewhat effective for them. They won the last 2 rounds, even though, you know, he didn't live through most of that first attack round. Still been effective, and looking pretty good for Liquid to maybe take more attack rounds here. So far, they've been dominant 2 rounds in a row. Of course, if they can win this next round, then that puts them in a position for at least guaranteed overtime, if nothing else, for this map. Of course, it is best of 3, so it's not like we have tie situations like we do during Pro League. Nonetheless, it's still a great position to be in, having that 5 points first. Puts you really in the driver's seat on the map. And of course, this was Vitality's map pick, but this is one that I said that we were talking about earlier that they might have been saving a lot of strats for. And we'll see how those work out because they're not going to go to Bar. They're actually going to go to Hookah for their third. So Hookah definitely getting a lot more play than we usually see it. So it's been interesting. But of course, that's to be expected, right? Because when it comes to an event like this, you're going to be preparing things you weren't showing during the normal season. Of course, these teams hadn't shown anything during it, but nonetheless, playing off meta.
Yeah, but quite a few teams as well have been going more and more often towards play on Hookah. It's a site that has kind of found its own. It does require you to hold VIP and the penthouse for as long as possible. They're basically your extra levels of defense because otherwise you have the balcony, you have aquarium, and then you're right into the site.
Interesting to see the AR-33 being run by Sexy Cake here on Thatcher as well. This is an uncommon gun to run on Thatcher, but nonetheless, it's still an effective one. I imagine the L85 might get played even better once the recoil changes come into the next patch because the site misalignment rather, because the L85 is infamously one of the ones that has a bit more of a problem with that. But nonetheless, AR-33 is still a fairly effective gun, especially indoors.
Yeah, and that's why you're going to bring it for higher rate of fire. And that's why you see the dot sight being put on it instead of having the ACOG, which is fairly, you know, it is still very easy to control, even with an ACOG, that's for sure.
Well, we'll see how they get this execute going here as they're slowly pushing in. They've almost got control of the beginning part of the pool table here. Fortunately, those drones getting shot out means that they're still lacking a little bit of intel. We'll see if they can stall it. They do have Rafael on the Echo, so they could start to get stunned once they feel like they have control over here. But we saw what happened last time when Nesk just walked into a room and took it over. Still could happen this round.
All right, you'll see Sexy Cake just moving in, but the Goo Mine, unfortunately, will alert his opponents. He just sprays into the back.
Good pre-fire.
Yeah, there's 38 seconds on the clock. There's quite a bit of time, and oh no, the Yokai is spotted. So now Vitality cannot afford to stay so far off the site. We'll finally see the second frag grenade thrown in to no avail, and they come into the back, spraying in. Bibu just peeks up and gets one, gets two! Two for Bibu here. Sexy Cake and Nesker down on the floor. Bullet in from the side as Zig has not used any of his Adrenal Surge. He gets 2 kills off of the LMG, but no usage of the utility. Bibu with a 3rd kill here on the Legion. Still alive. Finally, though, Zig will go down by the Legion on the side. Bibu will rotate back as no! Bibu walks into the Claymore, and Liquid cannot believe it!
They are definitely happy
Oh
with the
my
result of the round. Feels so bad for them right now.
Oh my god.
Poor Vitality. Well played round, but unfortunately jumping into a Claymore, not the
They
one
had it!
Yeah.
They had it! Who puts the Claymore out there on the drop?
Exactly what you're counting on. Well done, Liquid. And that puts them, again, like I said, in the driver's seat in that 5-3 advantage here. They went into the side switch with the disadvantage and have come out so strong.
It has been so close, though.
Yeah.
In all of these rounds, you've seen rounds go really completely in one way, and then we saw the clutch from Spark. We saw how well Vitality are playing, and unfortunately, it's these small things that really will make or break your whole game. This is one when you're playing at the highest level, a single mistake, a single thing that you're not expecting, you haven't planned and calculated, might just be the thing that loses you the game. It's,
absolutely.
Even if it's 5-3, it actually is very, very close, much closer than even a 5-3 scoreline would tell you.
Yeah, definitely been a good match, and this is just the first map between these two. No 6 picks coming out there. They are going to stick with this Finka Blitz combo here, which I wouldn't say was fairly effective last round. Like we talked about, Zig didn't use the adrenal boost at all till the very end, and right when he, of course, finally triggers it, gets shot in the process. It's unfortunate, because I think that's ironic given the fact that you can use it to pick up a downed player, but if you're that downed player, it's not happening. That's definitely a funny situation to be in, but nonetheless, the Claymore saving the day, so it worked out okay. We'll see, though, if Vitality can bring it back this round, because we did see them win. There was 3 attack rounds won the other way as well, but they were not in a row, so this is looking very strong for Liquid, despite how good you're seeing in terms of score from Vitality, in terms of frag count.
You know, the cash money Claymore.
Definitely feels good for Liquid, who've gotten a couple of kills they didn't expect.
Yeah, it might be literally worth its weight in gold. If Team Liquid take this first map, it'll give them an advantage, of course, coming into map number 2, and then, you know, possibly taking it 2-0, maybe, you know, having an advantage, a mental one as well, going into map number 3, if we actually do go for that. And, you know, I would not be too sad to see that here, of course.
I wouldn't be surprised either, though, between these two teams. You've seen how neck and neck it's been. Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is neck and neck could also mean that one team just ekes out a 1-point advantage on both maps, and then it ends up being a 2-0, yet despite how close it was, you still don't see a third map. So it is interesting how that can happen in terms of, like, you expect, oh, this should absolutely go to a third map. But if it's, you know, one of the teams that happens to eke it out both times on both maps, that happens to be the one that goes home the winner. And, of course, that is the point of best of 3. Well, in this case, not home, really. You go to the next part, but either way.
Yeah, it's home. Paris is home.
It is for Vitality, not so much for Liquid, but they're trying to make it home here with 5-3.
All right, so this is an attack into the penthouse, so most important thing we'll remind you is, hey, let's walk into a VIP. Take control of that. Let's take control of the hatch and bathroom. Take control of bathroom itself. All that entire plane around the penthouse. Very important to control of, and of course a big part of it is that Hall of Fame. Now nobody's contesting from the inside of it, but there you go. Adrenal Surge to walk into the Jaeger, and Nesk from the side will get the kill. That's why you see the Blitz actually turning his shield to the side, as it still will block bullets. Zephyr, though, getting the kill on Nesk. So it's a 1-on-1 trade, very important for Vitality to get the trades in this one.
Well, especially if you're going to trade on anyone, trading on to Nesk is a good trade to make. I'd say in this case they actually came out on the advantage there and forced a Sexy Cake back a little bit because he was getting crossfired and couldn't push like he wanted to on that hallway.
Yeah, of course, this is round number 9, which means this is match point. Team Liquid on 5. They need that 6th round to end it all there. Vitality, only way they can survive on this map is to tie it 5-5. You see, this is the way that you'll see these Hibana X Kairos being set up, but they get shot from the side, so now the Blitz has to be careful of anybody coming in from the back. Zig takes a lot of damage on the Finka, as everybody has been boosted, but this boost now only lasts for 10 seconds. Zephyr will find the angle with the ACOG. Bibu will peek for another one, and Spark for one more, leaving only Sexy Cake alone. How good is your shield when all of your teammates are dead and dust at C4 down, and Spark blows it right in the face of Sexy Cake. And you see the team here, Vitality, are much happier in their position.
Spark, that's the second time he's gotten the last kill with the C4. He's very good on that C4 throws. That's something you really have to practice because the angle of it, the kind of arc that you have to get to clear things, it takes a lot of practice to be that good at.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's because when you're playing with anything that has it's an explosive, either it's a grenade or even with a C4, you're kind of throwing the projectile as you're moving, and moving it, of course, means that you're transferring your own momentum. That was a change that was built into the game not too long ago.
It's one that's like, it can throw you off at first, but you can use it later to be able to get different distances that you might want to get. But like we said, practice definitely makes a difference. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a pause here before we go to what still could be the final round, but at least 5-4 now makes it there's that much more of a chance that we will go to an overtime, which of course is the normal best-of-3 overtime system to first to get 2 points there.
We're going to make sure that this is if this is a tactical timeout or not, because we'll remind you that tactical timeout, there you go, it is a tactical timeout, so there's nothing out of the ordinary here, no problems at all. It is basically at LAN, every single map, each team has the ability to use one tactical timeout that can be called either by the team or by the coach that is standing behind them. And this is Vitality calling in this here. So I'm assuming that that Bios was like, okay, guys, let's bring it here. We can take it to overtime. Yeah. So this is crunch time. This is the best one. Their performance the previous round was excellent. So now this is just for Vitality to reset and put their minds into this. At the same time, though, Liquid are allowed to talk to one another and to their coach
they
as
can
well.
use Vitality's timeout to their own advantage.
Yeah.
It could be like, how can we close this out? How can we do the same? So both teams should come to this. I expect next round to be a little bit different in terms of how they're going to play it out. They're really thinking about what are we doing well, what are we doing poorly, what can we do to adjust it? But of course, as you mentioned, the other team doing the same thing means it's still going to be the same kind of back and forth. It's of course whoever can come out ahead, but it also gives you a chance mentally to really like steal yourself.
It's resetting mentally, making sure that you're really back in the game, not just physically but also mentally. You get the whole team and okay, this is where we're going to play. This is how we're going to try to play it out. This is what our mistakes have been. We'll try to fix through that. So I'm excited to see how these technical timeouts will be used. We had them. We'll head into the game here, by the way, but we'll also remind you that these tactical timeouts were introduced not too long ago, just like I believe 6 months ago, and now we have teams that can. I think it was Atlantic City. Yeah, even less than 6 months actually. It's not been too long, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But you can use those tactical timeouts to your advantage. Make sure you talk to your coach. Make sure that you're ready to go for your matches here. We'll see a Bope operator, Capitao, being brought in by Sexy Cake, and there won't be any change in the op. So it'll be interesting. It's very much to counter the fact that that'll probably be a Jaeger.
I still think that shield was pretty effective, but in this case, they're going to be thinking about what the bomb site is and what they might have to play against, because now they're going to the secondary bomb site. They know it's going to be kitchen.
And also for Liquid, they know that they'll have to deal with someone in VIP. And where has the Jaeger been? It's like Dora the Explorer.
Well, yeah, it's the perfect way to kill the Jaeger in that corner because your ADSs won't stop those fireballs. So
indeed.
I do think that is a good read because they're going to need to take that corner to be able to take kitchen. They kind of read into that. And there's not a crossfire. Like we saw when Liquid playing defense in it, they would play 2 people in there to help guard that Jaeger. But Vitality don't play it the same way. They put just the Jaeger in the corner, and that's it. So yeah, I think that is a perfect adjustment coming out of Sexy Cake to be able to counter him, assuming he can pull it off at the right time. Of course, Jaeger could peek just at the right time as well and shoot his face as he's trying to prep the bolt. So could work either way.
You might be playing it from Hall of Fame, which is the position where you're most likely to be shot by the Jaeger, but you can play it, of course, from the outside window. You can.
You just have to be careful though, because it could hit anything on the way there and stop the bolt.
And that's the thing. You can precisely guide the bolt to exactly where you want it to be. And that's a big part of why Capitao is played. But you get 4 of them. 2 are smoke and 2 are fire bolts, and you can use those fire bolts into the side. It's exactly what we're mentioning here. Sexy Cake will come into drone from the side. His Nesk is right behind. It's one of the biggest strengths in Latin America, and especially Team Liquid, which is making sure that there's always a drone ahead of you, but you're also taking control, taking map control as you're moving up. And Zephyr is spotted in the back of VIP, so Bullet will continue to feed information to his teammates.
We'll see if that information will matter here because, of course, this is an important round for this map because this either decides if they go to overtime or they move on to Oregon. So if you're going to be playing actually aggressive in the hallway instead of in that corner, so Capital not needed to execute on that because Bullet gets the kill, but does take a little tiny smidge of damage from there. Nesk finishing off Spark. That's a good kill.
Yeah, we'll spot one player on the inside here of Theater, but Bibu is going to prep the drop, and there we go. He tries to go for the silent drop into the lobby. Will fall back to the site most likely. Vitality back on the 3 players, and last time we saw this, Team Liquid absolutely smashed into the site, and we saw Bullet coming in from the back, finishing off his opponent. So, what will Vitality do? They have to stick on the site. They have the best 3 anchors for the business, or in the business.
Well, that didn't matter last time when we saw Bullet just run in from the backside. I got to imagine they're going to be a little more prepared for that this time, though.
Right, so Liquid will try to use their vertical advantage, try to maybe get some info, some snipes on their opponents before heading into the site, as Zig will have 2 more Adrenal Surges to use. With 50 seconds on the clock, Bride won't be able to stagger his smokes effectively.
Yeah, this is definitely working out a bit better for Liquid, because this time they have the Finka still left alive, whereas they did not last time on this tech. So we'll see if they can execute on it. They have enough time to execute in a 5v3, but it's taken them a bit of time to get towards the site itself.
The LMG will come in from the side here. Zig will go to the kitchen window. Try to play it from there, though. They'll assume that was the last gas canister thrown in from the smoke. Speed is playing in the back. Oh, there we go. He will chuck in his final canister. The back bullet coming in, though, from the front door, as Rafal will get one. Bibu for the second actually ties it to a 3v3. Rafal somehow gets one more with the set me, as he'll fall back. He's low on health, but Zig cannot pick himself back up. It's all up to Nesk, one of the best clutchers in the business here. He still has to deal with Rafal. It's one down, but Spark gets the last one with the goo mine. It trades it off, and Vitality tie it 5-5 to head into overtime.
That was definitely a much better coverage in terms of how they were holding that site that time. Obviously not falling victim to Bullet walking in the other door. So that does bring it to overtime. Now, Vitality, that technical timeout, or tactical timeout seeming to work out for them.
Oh, yes. Definitely the case. So that's something that was kind of expected. Both teams are staples of their regions. They have a lot to show, a lot to offer. And when you're playing on LAN with so many high stakes, there's bound to be extremely close matchups and extremely close rounds that you have, especially on here. Even though the advantage was fully in Team Liquid's side with 5 players versus 3, even one of them being damaged, still was Team Liquid coming to a halt against the solid brick wall that was Vitality on the kitchen defense. But start off with Team Liquid on the attack, and this is where famously Latin American teams will have an advantage, bringing the blitz, something that NIP really like to do as well. And Liquid will not falter. Zig is still bringing the Finka again. Vitality, though, pretty standard lineup. 2 ACOGs, Rafal, Zephyr with an ACOG each. That's an Echo and a Doc.
Yeah, we'll see if we see any cheeky peeks come out. I mean, it tends to be Doc to be the one to do it, so it wouldn't surprise me to see. I feel like one round where we saw some holes opened up on the hookah, for example, and setting up like they were going to do a jump out, really slowed them down. You saw Sex Cake, for example, trying to peek with the blitz the whole time. Just opening up those small bits of windows, I think, was the best idea in terms of delaying that push. They're not going to repeat that this round, but I mean, Liquid definitely starting on the advantage by getting attack first here, I think. But we did see a good comeback for at least 2 rounds. I mean, so far we've seen a mirror, right? We've seen both teams 3 attack rounds and 2 defense rounds. So that's, of course, why they're 5-5. But that means both teams can attack and defend about equally in terms of at least getting 2.
All right. So, of course, Team Liquid starting off. We'll remind you that on the attack. But we'll remind you as well that our overtimes are still the same as they have always really been. It's a best of 3 overtime. So you start off on the attack. Well, you keep going until really you win 2 out of those 3 rounds. There's no other way, unless I don't think we've ever had a tie, like a actual draw in overtime.
No, where you end up like in some weird kind of 7-7, 8-8 sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen here, but
you never know.
That aside, it is Team Liquid versus Vitality on map number 1. It is already so close and so tight. So I wonder what both teams have in store for a second one. We will have a winner at the end of the next 2, maximum 3 rounds. You see how Vitality are really set up around the site. There's nobody to support Bride outside of Zephyr. I wonder if he has an angle to play in from the hallway using the soft wall to his advantage. No.
Yeah. Oh.
No, he does not. It's even reinforced at one angle. He only has, you know, the initial part of it that is soft. It makes a lot of sense that the back is reinforced just so the Jaeger is safe.
Well, we'll see. They don't have the Capitao this time to firebolt him out of there, and he actually tries to take a shot towards Sexy Cake's back, but can't find the angle. So he's allowed to live and start pushing on the door. That Hall of Fame not seeming to really matter too much in terms of control there, because they're just ignoring Jaeger at this point.
Yeah, and it really did work out for them before, because you saw them just coming in and planting on the site, though they do have to deal with the smoke that is playing in the bathroom, the fully reinforced wall. I don't know if they're willing to use PSK's X-Kairos in that wall to open things up. Bullet is on the outside of the main window. He hasn't spotted the smoke inside just yet, or at least not really standing up to contest him. There you go. Sexy Cake will give the information. You see Bullet will fall back. Doesn't really want to get pushed, as he'll want to have the advantage against the smoke, who sets up in the shower. Unfortunately, an easy spot for Bullet to take him out.
I like how he just takes control of the bathroom immediately after by dropping in to set up for this plant here for PSK, giving the additional coverage. Now it's going to be on plays like Sparks C4 to save this.
Yeah, and unfortunately here for Vitality, as they getting the kill on a Spark. Unfortunately for them, the Bride will have to deal with the Ash. And there you go, Nesk is just ready for him. They'll try to deny the plant, but it will not connect as the shield will block the yokai being thrown in. Rafael is on the floor. Sexy Cake will get the last one on Zephyr. 3K there for Mr. Cake.
I like that the adaptation, though. He's getting hit by the yokai drone, so rather than just try and shoot it and expose yourself, he just stands in front of it, just takes the blast for him. Not to mention that blocks from Doc's shots as well, so well played by Sexy Cake on managing to cover that plant and force them right into the bullets after that. Nice adaptation by Bullet as well to rotate around and get that kill into the bathroom and take control of it, but I'm surprised again that it took him so long to do that, because every time that wall's reinforced there, you got to imagine there's probably someone in there, and he's just not able to kind of get a kill on that early. Either way, though, it didn't completely hurt them that time.
Yeah, which is why we were seeing Team Liquid not reinforcing the entirety of the wall into the penthouse. And it's something that is a completely different way of playing. It's one where if you reinforce everything, you're going to playing in and around the site on the inside of the penthouse. If, on the other hand, you're planning on putting more players outside of it, then you have to have that hole, really. And that's the way that Team Liquid are doing it. And it has worked out pretty nicely for them, you know. Sexy Cake definitely did a lot of work, and we all know it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.
A sexy one.
You got to do the cooking by the book. You can't be lazy. I'm definitely not 13, by the way.
I cannot verify. So we'll see. Interesting, the first pulse coming out here from Nesk. So he's 6th pick over to that. No one's going to be expecting that because, of course, we have yet to see a pulse. And if you were going to be expecting anyone to be playing pulse, it'd be Zig. So this should definitely throw them off at least a little bit. They're going to try Penthouse as well, see if they can defend it effectively this time. And again, this is a defense they have yet to show, because they did not play Penthouse at all on their defensive rounds before. So this is going to be something different from Liquid that might throw Vitality off, which is what I was saying earlier they need to do to really take the advantage over Vitality, is throw them off. Be unpredictable. So this might be the round that clutches out in terms of getting that 7-5 and moving on to Oregon.
5 seconds left before insertion.
All right, we'll see the entirety of the wall being reinforced here, and really even the majority of the back here in the theater. So not much will be used on the other side by the pool room or by the hookah. Or see the pick again from Sexy Cake. Nobody's spawning in ruins.
It's worth a shot.
Literally.
Well, nonetheless, they definitely will be pressuring the usual side here over towards the window. Zephyr back on that glass, as he's been doing so well on it. See if they can manage to pick up this round. Like I said earlier, both teams have been just about as effective on attack, so there is a good chance this could still go to 6-6. But nonetheless, this should throw them off as it's a different site. So we'll see how good their execute is on actually taking Penthouse. They're definitely going to have to worry about Nesk on that pulse, though, hiding down in the bar.
Yeah, and it's something that usually happens, but I'm not sure if Vitality are ready for that in this round. Now, Bibu, you see him running with the RG-15. We'll remind you as well that if you're running around with your pistol, does not include SMG 11 or 12 or bearing 9, then you do have a speed boost around 5 or 10% compared to your base speed. So remind you as well that one speeds have had a bit of a boost. I think it's like 10% speed boost, and 3 speeds have had a 10% speed reduction, so it's their operators are a lot closer. Not as scenic as they were.
It's definitely made a difference, I think, and of course, especially for IQ, because you're gonna be running with your pistol out half the time, anyways. Same with bullets and things like that. So there's definitely some attackers, especially, that will get an advantage from that.
All right, so banana for scale there on the IQ. Of course, the charm being set up. Sexy Cake, though, will have to worry about the Hibana hole that was opened up. Team Liquid, in this case, not really running the same style as they were before. They're relying a lot more on, as you mentioned, the pulse from Nesk, and he's playing still downstairs, all to shut down the attackers that are coming in from the main hall, just to come into the penthouse from Hall of Fame. You can just instantly get a pick with the C4. Bibu, though, checking in from the bathroom, has not found anybody yet. It's a close angle being held by the bed here from Sexy Cake, and then he will fall back. There's nobody really watching the window. Where is Zephyr?
Yeah, definitely. He's rotating up right now, but it's taking him too long. He's so concerned about a rotate from the lobby.
And he should be, really. Yeah. There you go.
That's
Bullet getting the kill. That's Zephyr down on the floor. Not really expecting that. Well, we're really expecting that, but there's nobody really to help him out. And 20 seconds left on the clock as you hear the Candelas being chucked in from Rafal. Now the open wall will play against Vitality in this position. Zig, though, dropping in 2 kills for Vitality's Bullet will hit one with the C4. Bride with another one. It's now a 2 versus 3 for the advantage of Vitality. Nesk has not used his utility just yet. Bride finding the angle, though, in the hallway. And it's a 3v1 up to Nesk. The Clutch Master, who's not running a C4 on the pulse.
What?
It's a barbed wire. Why?
6th pick, I guess. He is getting callouts, though, from his team.
Now he's coming in from the side, and he'll get one onto Bride. Low on health here. The diffuser is spotted right beside the bed. Nesk will try to come in. The wall is not reinforced here in the bathroom. He'll have to deal against 2 players that are sitting up close to him. And the crossfire lands Vitality of the round, who tie it 6-6. Ladies and gentlemen, literally the first game in the group stage of the major. It is down to the wire. We have literally just begun. It's so good.
It's definitely how it should be. And we're still going to have at least one more map after this. So, as I said, though, it's to be expected where you'll see them go neck and neck. But one team has to win the map by at least 1 point, which means if it could be the same team 2 times in a row, then we will not see a 3rd map. But at least we'll see Oregon, if nothing else. But we'll see. Liquid have been very good on attack, though, so chances are this is going to go Liquid's way. We will see it go down to Bar. Vitality also bringing out a surprise. Now, Vitality didn't play Bar on their defense. So both teams trying to save that 4th site as a bit of a surprise for this overtime. It did work out. It didn't work out, I mean, for
so, Liquid. You see, because we're paused here, the timer is paused. It means that it was Team Liquid because Vitality had already used their timeout. Team Liquid have called their tactical timeout, so they're going to try to use that to advantage. Of course, the winner of round number 13 is the winner of this first map in this best-of-3 set. So there's a lot of stakes here on the board, to say the least. And you see Team Liquid talking to Sensi, trying to make sure that everybody is on board with the strategies. He's got his playbook with him, and of course the admin's next to him, making sure that at the end of the minute pause, he's going to have to fall back and let his players execute on those words, and maybe, hopefully for them, we'll be able to get the round off of the French locals, as Vitality are definitely putting work in this very first game. The thing is, they hit Coastline for the entirety of the half season.
Yeah, you really want to win it, because not only did you spend 6 bans hiding it, you picked the map as well. You're really hoping to show it here. And it's not really working out in the sense that they have yet to win it, but they still could. However, like I said, Liquid at a slight advantage here because attack has been stronger than defense, which is absolutely not unusual for Coastline.
Yep, indeed, indeed. And of course, Liquid has won their first attack here in overtime. The second one was won by Vitality. Even though Team Liquid had the advantage on the retake with all the angles working their way, fortunately for them, Vitality were just set up for crossfires every single time. 15 kills and 14. 1 for Nest, 1 for Bullet. And then everybody else, really, they're just taking the kills away. This 29 kills between 2 players. in 13, now starting 13 rounds. Oh my god.
It's definitely been some strong players on both teams really carrying their team. Not carrying the team in the sense of like the team couldn't do without them, but really like pushing them forward in terms of.
This is like an oh my god. This is what languages do we say it at this point? This is oh mon dieu. This is meu deus. What is going on here? It's insane to see high performance like this in the very first game so early in the morning. Really, that all ties into the mindset. And I'm glad that all these teams were able to boot camp in Europe, and this is an odd Castlebear kid. Castlebear getting the courtyard door.
Yeah, they definitely want to be able to roam in lobby, it seems. We'll see if that works out for them, but it's definitely an oddball defense in terms of the way they're using that utility.
There's no C4s even for Vitality, so I wonder how they're going to play the player below.
Yeah.
This is it's definitely going to throw a wrench in the works of Team Liquid.
I mean, they might open up a bit of the floor to be able to get some angles, I guess, but still, it's definitely a different way to do it. They do have at least the Echo and the Smoke to be able to delay on site. They're not bringing the Maestro like they did sometimes on the kitchen defense. But see how they play this here. Yeah, some good drone setups here to be able to try and get some coverage of flanks, although they're a little bit covered by the books.
All right, bullet. Oh, make sure you don't shoot your team.
Yeah,
there you go.
Close call. Texakit going to be on that blitz again.
I'll have to deal with the Jaeger in the back, and they have gotten the spot, so easiest way to do it, go with all your Geshmut mines, and you can still push Sexy Cake inside. He rushes in, and Sexy Cake bashes Zephyr over the head, and that is the first kill of the round. And it'll be the camera taken out as well in the back. Vitality. They've wasted, though, so much utility to push into the one Jaeger. It's not too bad for Vitality in this position as the player went off-site, though unfortunately the goo mine will be spotted by Sexy Cake as he takes it out. No damage done here on the rotation though from there. Oh no! Sexy Cake hip fires headshots into Spark, and we turn into a 5v3 again.
He's playing a very effective blitz here, to say the least. A knife and then a hip fire kill. Definitely playing it smart, not even using up a ton of ammo here so far. Does take a little bit of damage, but not too much, and he's holding these stairs for his team, forcing a lot. Look, pretty much at this point, all the defenders forced downstairs to try and hold on site. Now this gives them the opportunity to set up in their positions as a 5v3. This is looking very Liquid favored. Yeah,
they're going to have to push in from the back, though, but because Team Liquid has the two-man plus advantage, they can play from the windows, come in from the main doorways, and all of that will play into the disadvantage, though. Gas canisters will get thrown in at the 32-second mark as BD has set up his yokai. I wonder if he has a second one available here, but there's one just watching the attackers pushing in, and Sexy Cake will run in, try to play against the smoke. Zig will inhale a lot of that smoke, though Rafael will get one. BD gets taken out. No! Zig with a team kill! Unfortunately, he goes down to Bibi when a 2v2. Sexy Cake's on the floor, and the Habana goes down. Rafael and Vitality will take map number 1. The team kill from Zig. Unfortunate! But Vitality up on the board, and the local French heroes, they put up that. What a fantastic performance, 7-6. Absolutely beautiful for our first map and our first game. I cannot wait to see what Oregon has in store for us.
I definitely got to feel like Zig's going to be kicking himself for that team kill, because that might have been the difference maker there, but Bibu,
lack of comms.
Definitely, yeah, lack of comms, like you said. Just when you have 5-man advantage like that,